we're sitting in isolation right now because of COVID-19. We're sitting in isolation right now because the earth is speaking out in a very loud voice. And this voice is carrying across the whole globe as a pandemic, a virus that they cannot deal with at the moment. And there's another pandemic and virus waiting right behind this one. And there's another one behind that one. One of the things that I've seen over a period of my years and literally been watching very carefully, is the overpopulation of the earth itself by human beings. In 1950, at 70 years ago, I was 20 years old, and there were 2.5 billion people in the world. And it took a million years to get there, to reach that level of population of human beings. And in 70 years, we've almost tripled the population to 7.7 billion today, soon to be 8. That's nature. You're not going to control that. That's nature, because we're nature. And we've been given the responsibility of intellect. Among all the creatures of the world, the human species has an intellect. And we are supposed to exercise that intellect on behalf of generations coming. This, at least, is in the philosophy of our peoples here in what they call North and South and Central America. We look to the future, and we are supposed to be taking care of those people coming in the future. Our brother from across the sea doesn't think that way. He doesn't have a concern for the future. And in that process, he has literally gutted the world. He has plundered the earth itself. He has dug gold, and he has dug all of these amazing strengths that are in the earth itself and exposed them and used them. And they are now being depleted. And of course, in that process, he has polluted the very air we breathe and the systems. And therefore, we have created an existential crisis of our very existence as a species. It's a question now. In the seventh generation perspective that our leaders have always followed, it's a mandate. It's a mandate. Step carefully with your feet, look to the future, and make all of your decisions on behalf of those generations coming, so they will have and enjoy what you have today. That perspective is not carried on by our brothers from across the water. He has a different thought. And the consequence of that is where we are right now. And so, as we have very altered, the very systems of the earth, we have changed that. We have polluted the air that we breathe to the point of our own extinction. And we have also violated the trust of the intellect that we were supposed to have, and we were supposed to protect the future. That intellect. The human species has this intellect, which gives us a huge responsibility for life. The other knowledge that we have is a foreknowledge of death. We know at a rather early age that at some point we are going to pass on and die. And with that knowledge, you have to prepare. And generally speaking, we have. But that doesn't occur anymore. That knowledge, that preparation, concern for the seventh generation, fading. And in the process, the explosion of human species. I was reflecting on John Mohawk as he was speaking as a young man. I was reflecting on a conversation we had, among many conversations, when we were talking somewhat about this, and John says, well, as far as I can see, the human species is still a biological experiment. The earth can live without us, without any problem whatsoever, and has. We're relatively a new species, if you want to go by the timeline of the earth itself. We haven't been here this long, and there's no reason for us to be here any longer. And so our fate is in our hands. We're the ones that control that. And so we have to look at our brother, and we have to say to him, it's not too late to wake up, but it's getting close. We're approaching a point of no return. Okay, so that's coming soon. And they are waking. I've heard these voices now. I mean, I'm getting calls from around the world, from different places, and some influential people saying, what was it that you Indian people keep talking about? Now they're reaching back to our wisdom. They're reaching back to our values. They sense their own destruction. And the fear is out there now. And so what is it? What is these instructions, you know? Respect. Respect, a huge instruction. Respect is a law. Okay, so we have another meeting coming up right within this few minutes, so I don't have much more time to speak, but I will urge all of us to continue that struggle that we have been in for all these years. And the situation will always be there for us to challenge. Hopefully our brother is going to wake up to his own demise and change his ways. There is change in the air now, and we have to take full advantage of it. And we have to respond to those people reaching out to us. The values of peace. Peace is the number one value. And so now I will close my conversation here and urge us all to stand and to support that young voice that we just heard, and to educate those young people as to the values that have carried us this far. Peace, equity, fairness to the people, and the creation itself. So with that, I'll close and thank you all for your hard work and much more coming. So let's stand and fight. Donnie.